Good evening, Mr. Morten. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, very well.
Perfect. So, thanks for taking my call today.
Of
Um,
course.
I'm very happy. It is a big honor to me to talk to you today. And we will talk about your vita perfetta di William Sidis. So, the perfect life of William Sidis.
Yes, yes.
So I'll be honest with you. I love giving books to my friend, but I hate when my friends give to me books as present for my birthday, for example, or for Christmas. Nonetheless, there is always an exception to the rule, and this is the case because I
Oh,
didn't know your book honestly. But my ex-boyfriend gave to me your book as a present for my birthday, and I read it in 2 days, just 2 days, and I finished it. So
wow.
that means three things, in my opinion. That is, the story is good, you are a good author, of course, and you had a good translator also because I read your Italian version, the Italian version of
Yes,
your novel. Okay.
she's very good.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank
So,
you.
but my question is about your relationship with your translators. I mean, your book has been translated in so many languages. So I'm wondering if you had regular contacts with all of your translators all around the world, or not.
Actually, not all of them, but mostly they contact me because there could be some misunderstanding or they want me to clarify something. I had a lot of contact with the Italian translator. She's really thorough and really working, and she wants to understand everything. So it was a pleasure to work with her.
Perfect. So another question is the story is good. You told I listened to at another interview of yours, and you told that you find this story by coincidence.
Mm.
So this is a good story. I just told this to you, but this is a story of a life that always gone unnoticed. So
Mm. Yes.
I'm wondering if you weren't you afraid that people could not be interested into this story whilst writing the story? Weren't you afraid, or you were sure 100% from the beginning that the story was a really good story?
Actually, I didn't know, of course, but when I learned about William Sidis, for me it was really, oh, this is the story. Everybody must be interested in reading about him. But when you write a book, you never know. You never know if people have the same interest in your subject. Um, but I had a feeling that his story is so important in many ways, and it's so moving, and the fact that it's actually in the middle of international history in New York and in last century, meeting all these famous, important people. That and then his life, his very, very strange life. I think I just knew that it interests me, and then hopefully it will interest readers.
Of course, it's overwhelmed me whilst reading totally. So it became a best-selling novel, bestseller. So the question I'm used to ask to the authors during my interviews is before you became a best-selling author, did you ever sensed you were meant to be an important person? I mean, you are destined for more, or vice versa? Did you ever feel in the past, before becoming a best-selling author, that you, I don't know, did you feel like to be rejected or misunderstood?
No, no, actually not. I never felt important at all. But I had this feeling when I was very young that I really loved writing. You know, it started in school. You're writing essays, and then I remember I read aloud. We were going to write a short story or something, and I read it aloud in the classroom. I was about, I don't know, 10 years. And then suddenly I could see on the other, my friends in the classroom that they were listening. And this gave me an experience that, wow, with words you can move other people. So when I was around that age, just preteen and the teenage years, I just had the feeling that this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be better and better and better in writing, and then hopefully one day I would be published. But you never know. You never know. You have a dream and you work for it, but you never know if it's worth. But it takes time, but it was worth it for me. I hope for the readers as well.
We can say you're born with the pen in your hands. You're always writing something.
Always, yes.
I know we know that you're a journalist also, and about Sidis' life again. We know that you tell in your novel about the Sidis' sympathy for socialism. We know that Sidis translated the Bolshevik ideology for the immigrants from all over the world. So I'm wondering if did this have some influence on your decision to write a novel about Sidis' life, and to what extent has politics been a concern in your writing?
Actually, I didn't know about this in the beginning, that he was a socialist, but it is a very important thing in his life, because everything changes after that for him. So it wasn't the political aspects as such that made me write about it, but the fact that his socialist played this role in his life, and in the book I write about that he's getting arrested in a socialist demonstration in 1919, and that is a kind of a nexus in time for him. There's a before and after, because after this he decided to live alone and withdraw from the society. He's also he actually changed his views. He was a socialist back then. He read Karl Marx probably in a day or two, and then later, as a grown, he became more liberal. I think a bit like the American Democrat Party, things like that. So he changed his view on things, and also you can say that being a socialist back then, just after the Russian Revolution, was really dangerous. There was really a red scare, because back then, just after the First World War, the whole world were afraid what is going to happen. Will England, Germany, Italy, will every nation be communist, socialistic? And there was really a scare back then.
So you mentioned the loneliness of this person, this genius. In fact, the perfect life seems to be a lonely life. Reading your novel, this is the idea the reader can take from the novel, and maybe it could just include his friend Martha.
Mm.
What about you? I mean, in spite of your career as journalist, so you are always all around the world, in Rome now, and tomorrow we don't know. Tomorrow in Rome, within 2 months we don't know. As a novelist, can you say you enjoy solitude more than company? When you maybe when you are working on a new novel, I don't know.
I must admit, I need a lot of solitude in my life. It's like I think better and I write better when I'm alone. But then again, I'm a very social person. I love being out among friends and people, and that's why I also go, like now, I mean, there are artist residents in Rome. I go to different places in the world and sit and write and meet people. So for me, it's a mix of being extrovert and introvert. But I must admit that I feel more like myself when I'm a little bit withdrawn, when I'm a little bit alone, but only for a while. Then I need other humans.
Yes, of course. But anyway, you are not afraid of the solitude. I mean,
No.
You enjoy it when you need it.
Yeah, and it's impossible to write without being alone, at least inside your head.
Okay. So, how do you spend usually your work day when you are writing a new novel, a new book?
I actually try to have a kind of a normal office routine. I work actually in a kind of what you can common office with a lot of people, with designers and web designers and people like that in a large room where everybody is working for themselves, but you are together in a way, so you can have a chat with this and this, and but that's how I work best, among people, but alone at the same time, and then I just I think I write in small bursts, like when I'm starting, I'm going into some kind of trance, just writing, but only for about half an hour. Then I just have to
stand up and drink a glass of water, or smoking a cigarette. I don't know. Do you smoke?
No, I don't smoke.
Okay.
But a lot of coffee.
Not smoking writer.
No. And no whiskey.
Well, except of Sidis' life, which we told came by coincidence, do you have any favorite topic? I mean, any subject you feel you are hooked up to, which you notice that it's coming back whenever you start writing a new novel?
There is a tendency in me to being attracted to stories where something is really, really special or almost extreme. I mean, I was fascinated by William Sidis because his intelligence was so extreme and his life story was so extreme. And in the other books, I also were mostly attracted by this. For example, people in extreme distress. My first novel was about a concentration camp outside Prague in Second World War, and I was interested in how are people getting by in a concentration camp. Another story is about a young couple that losing their children. So I was fascinated. How do you get by the loss of children? Or it can be how do you get by and if you are having some kind of mental problems. I made a book. It was not a novel. It was a kind of biography of a famous Danish woman who had bulimia for 17 years, and I just tend to be attracted to these strong stories with very emotional stories. It's not a topic, but it's a tendency. Yeah.
Exceptional life of a person. It must be exceptional. Okay, let me say that basically my feedback to your novel, my decision to speak about your novel on my blog is an excuse in order to place more emphasis on you as an author, because I would like that also your other novels to Italy for Italian readers.
That could be great.
I know, and I just purchased a copy of The Victims of Frin and a girl and a boy. So I will let you know my feedback about this novel if you want.
I want, of course.
But I'm wondering, what would be the next novel to be published in Italy if you had the choice?
I actually think I would choose A Girl and a Boy, because that is the story about a young couple who actually lost their children and how they came by. Because I think it's the best thing I ever made. The language is very it's much more naked, much more minimalist than in William Sidis' book, and it's like it is like I feel very satisfied by that book. I have this feeling that I can't do this. I cannot do this better. This is the best I can do. So I would like to have it.
I'll start from that. I'll start from that one. Okay. And at the beginning of this call, you told you are in Rome now. So maybe your Italian reader's dream is already coming true. I don't know. I mean, maybe you are signing a contract with an Italian publisher. I hope so. And if this is the case, can you disclose anything about it? Or?
No, it's there's no, not right now in Italy. William, right now I'm the book William Sidis is coming out now in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria this month. So I'm focused on that. But I hope that I can get the book out to Italian readers, because I've been traveling a lot in Italy with the book, and it's really amazing people that I meet out there. It's like people that read, they have a special love for meeting the writer and vice versa. I really enjoy meeting Italian readers.
It's very nice that you speak about in this way about Italy and about Rome, our capital city. But don't you think that Denmark is better country than most others? I just yesterday maybe I had a look at a video on Facebook about Denmark people. It was wonderful. So Denmark is not so sanctimonious like Italy. It's much more clean than Italy. So it seems to be the perfect country. Maybe it's too cold for me, but
it's too cold. Yeah, we have snow right now in Denmark.
So it's a better country than most others.
I wouldn't say it's a better country. Some things are good, some things are not that good. I mean, we have things like we don't really have corruption, and we don't really have big social problems as such, and nobody goes around hungry, and we have a feeling that we are safe. But when I go here in the streets of Rome, I sense some kind of being alive in a way. When I talk to my Italian friends, that they have some kind of happiness, that life quality. That I don't really see in Denmark, because we are a little bit more reserved. It's like typical Scandinavians, a little bit more reserved. And here in Italy, you're talking with your hands, and I enjoy it so much. I wouldn't call Denmark a better country at all. I mean, if I could, I would come and live here.
Oh.
I just only speak very few Italian words, so I would have to study them.
So you can start studying Italian language and
yeah.
A step, another step, and another question about your writing process. Do you think that writing a novel based on a true life, like you did in Sidis' novel, is harder than writing a totally imaginary novel? I mean, whole creation of the author imagination. Are your the other novels in totally imaginary novels, or they are based on true stories?
They're actually quite a mix. When I write about historical themes, like Second World War, it's a bit like making the Sidis book, because I study a lot, research a lot, and I go to places to get all the correct details and all this. And the good thing about writing about historical persons is that it's like you have a frame. You have this life as a kind of structure. In the book of Sidis, I had a lot of help, because I had all these facts from his life, but it doesn't makes it more easy to write with this research level. It's just another kind. When I write something more freely, of course, give some freedom, but also I can miss the limits that you have when you're writing in a true story. So the good things about both of them, I would say.
So let me ask you about your reading habits. What are you reading now? Actually,
I'm reading an amazing book. It's called the Flight from Auschwitz, and it's actually it's a non-fiction book about a guy, Rudolf Werber, who was in Auschwitz, and he was the one who fled from there and went to England and told about what happened in concentration camps, and he really made a huge impact on the Allies. They could see that actually this was happening, and it's a story about his story, about his life there. It's very beautifully written. I really can recommend it to everybody. I would almost say that everybody should read it. It's like you have this wonderful writer Primo Levi, who also made these books about his life in Auschwitz. I think as a modern human being, you need to read books like this because if you don't know your history, you are condemned to repeating it, as you say.
It's very good book, I guess, and very difficult, extreme, like the story you choose to write. So, how do you manage to divide your time between journalism, reading, writing, traveling all around the world?
Yeah, but right now, actually, most of my time I use writing, and it's actually what I do now. I don't do other kinds of work right now. I don't know how it will be in the years coming, but right now I try to write a book every year. That's a way of getting, financial support for my life. But I mean, if I don't succeed with a book, I don't have finance to go back to journalism or commercial or whatever.
I think you'll do it. So. But have you got a block notice, or maybe you write your ideas on your smartphone, or?
You mean when I get an idea?
Yes.
Or
have you got always with you in your pocket maybe a pen and a notebook, or do you use your smartphone?
Actually, when I get an idea, walking in the street here in Rome, as I did earlier this day, I just had this idea, and then I'm so afraid of forgetting it. So what I do is that I write to myself on my phone. So when I come back, I can read it and use it, because ideas, they're coming. I think all people, they know that ideas are always coming when you are walking, when you are making coffee, whatever. So I constantly have something to write.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much indeed.
It was a pleasure.
I wish you a good stay in Rome. Enjoy the capital city. If you're coming to Milan, you are welcome. Just let me know, and we will have a drink.
We will. I promise.
Yes, promise. Okay. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.